Yo, what's good, YouTube family? You already know who it is. The Brown Brother, but I need no introduction. I agree with y'all. Peace, positivity, and most importantly, power. As we go about being a millionaire person in America. If you're new to this channel, please like, share, subscribe. And definitely going to have a lot of good videos coming very soon on this channel. We here try to tell the narrative and story of the young black male. And I want to jump into the video, which goes transition right into the topic. Why positive narratives are important for young black males. The absolute number one that I would say is right now reading off my phone, just a list of the things that I made, probably 5 reasons. It's probably part 2 of this video. Part 2 of a series that I did, which I made a video before this. And number one reason I said was because the media is trying to currently feminize young black men, or show the narrative of feminization of young black men. Now somebody say, oh, you're saying this, you're saying, no, I mean this, about no other race in the on planet Earth right now. They're trying to feminize the young black male, show characteristics and statistics, characteristics and traits that are not manly and masculine. Again, you know that when I talk about the masculine and the feminine energy, maybe if you're new to this channel, I'll try to explain a little bit the masculine and feminine energy. Both are good, but both have their own separate arenas, right? So we're not saying that this person is that and this person is that. We're not trying to compare this on a value standpoint. We're just saying one is an apple, one is an orange. They cannot be compared. The feminine energy essence is amazing and incredible. The masculine energy is amazing and incredible. But you're seeing right now that they are trying to take the narrative of the masculine narrative of a young black male and make it feminized. They are no longer showing men doing manly things. They're no longer showing black males being fathers and husbands in the household. I believe Dr. Boyce Watkins has a video saying saying something to the accord of number one movie in America is a black man in a dress. Get the blank out of here. And that's the title of the video. And I thought that that was very important because it told the story of you're seeing they're trying to make us very feminized. Look at all the movies, Big Mama House, Medea, on and on and on. You go to all these stories and narratives of black men and they're parading around. And I know disrespect to anybody. I'm just making the point is they're showing this narrative, but instead of showing a movie that's just as great, the father in the narrative, Almost Christmas, a great movie, showed father in the household being a father, being the patriarch of the family. And they, instead of showing these narratives, they show the other. They rather show a negative narrative of young black men instead of selling their disagreements, showing us shooting. Again, I make the point is even I can use street wisdom, I can use book wisdom. I go to what Lil Wayne said again. He said, "Guns turn you boys into." Well, I changed the phrase for the sake that we do not curse on the channel, but he was basically saying that you're not a real man if instead of trying to sell a beef the right way, you instantly got to get a gun and go out there and do something crazy. You know, you're not selling it. You're being very soft. You're being very unmasculine by doing these things. So I could just say instead, I guess saying instead of saying a feminizing, but I guess we could say they're showing a very unmasculine narrative, which hurts us in the end. Because if we don't have positive examples of fatherhood, you know, these things trickle down. It has a trickle effect. People always say propaganda is the biggest weapon. When you don't show the father, the husband, you know, you don't have things to strive for, or you grow up with the role models that we have on TV. We all grew up WWE fans until I found out how racist WWE was. Um, we all grew up sports fans, and we have all these figures and all these people who are on TV that we see that they push and promote out there, and we grew up wanting to be like these people because we see that. But when you show these negative narratives and show us in a very emasculating way, then you see a lot of times we use a result. Not saying that, but I'm making a point is positive narratives are needed for young black men because they show narratives that are bad for us, in turn using that negative propaganda and those negative images to try to destroy the young black male. Two, Me as a master do not applaud the good things young black males do. I did this in reference to my brother J. Cole and Wale. Never met neither one of them, but they're my brother anyway. Both my brothers, and I mean that. You will see on the 5 o'clock news on any time in USA America, the first thing that they want to show is, young black male gets arrested for shooting or robbery or this and that and that and that, and they love to show that and promote and plaster that, which is very negative. But however, that is a very small percentage, a percentage that is, I would be a fool not to say, is greatly contributed to the propaganda and things to destroy the young black men. And even one or two or 10 is too many, and that number does need to come down. I'm not gonna lie, but you have to understand where it comes from. It almost reminds me of, I can't remember what it was. I think I took psychology in college, and it reminded me of a thing where they were saying in a study or in life periods, almost like certain participants are pieces on a chessboard, and you have these things called independent clauses, dependent clauses, and you have these things where they, when they test and survey people or show people, and then they put inside these variables and these clauses, and they change the whole atmosphere, so everybody can be sitting in a room, and they can cut the heat off, and everybody's hot in the room. But then they would judge people's emotions. Are people more irritable when it's hot in the room versus if it's cold in the room? And that's how they're doing with us. They're trying to play us a chessboard, and they're doing it for some kind of sick, twisted game, of course, to destroy the young black male, because we've always been their biggest target, and the enemy that they've always wanted to destroy. Although we've never done anything to warrant it, these attacks. We were kidnapped and brought over here, so it's not like we wanted this. But I digress. But you see a lot of times that they don't show the positive things we do. So the 5 o'clock news showed the young black male being arrested for that, but it doesn't show the teacher in South Carolina. I'm going to leave an article, I believe, probably down in the description box down below, who started a club for young African American boys, and teach them how to be gentlemen for those who don't have fathers in the household. And it's called the Gentlemen's Club. And he give them ties and suit jackets if they can't afford them. And I think they meet like once a week. He's a teacher in the school, and he'll teach them how to open up the door, how to be respectful towards ladies. You don't hear about those narratives, but you will have somebody show the negative instead of showing the positive. I mean, at least have a balance, 50-50. But anyway, in addition to that, the masses do not applaud good things young black men do. I take, for instance, J. Cole just had an album, For Your Eyes Only. If you don't have that album, go check it out. I got it in my backpack right now. I carry them with me religiously, faithfully. And J. Cole's whole attitude has changed. He's evolved and developed. He started off as a young brother, 20 some years old, just trying to make it into the industry by any means necessary. Until now, he's what, 30, 31, 32, and he's involved. He's a father. He's a husband now, and you can tell his songs are different. He says, "Catch me." He said, "They said, don't catch me. I've fallen in love for the first time in my life. I found love." He talks about wanting to fold clothes and try to help his wife, and he talks about "She's Mine" Part Two, which is a second song that he made, in which he talks about catching to fall in love, and he talked about hearing like the heartbeat of his daughter, and for the first time in his life, he understood what really being a man was, and what it did. And nobody embraced Cole for real, or applauded him. What I mean by that is nobody gave him his due praise. Um, you hear people always saying hip hop is disrespectful to women, hip hop is disrespectful to the culture, hip hop it doesn't show us in the right light. But that's true. But I saw nobody applauding that end of hip hop, for we can show, okay, this brother doing this. Let's applaud him. Let's make this song the number one in America, so that all the other rappers can take notice and be like, this is the song you want to put out. And even if y'all didn't even nobody didn't go buy the album like I did, at least everybody could take the time out to tweet and say, "Wow, that's amazing." J. Cole, uplifts and applauds, black women or women, period. J. Cole talks about the birth of his child. He embraces fatherhood, black fatherhood, which is married to a beautiful black woman, which again, nobody talks about. Even the quote unquote champions of black love, you see nobody tweeting this out and showing these positive narratives. So we don't get applauded for it. And then you got Wale, who came back about a week before or a week after Cole put the album out, and came out with a song called Black is Gold, and showed beautiful black sisters of all complexions and all narratives, and tell me how your beauty is beautiful, and don't worry about this and don't worry about that, and just live life and be happy. And he showed black women and just black people in general in our melanated essence in such a beautiful manner, but nobody applauded Wale. And again, it goes back to the same thing how Cole said in the song False Prophets. He said, you got people who talk about people don't mess with him. He said, it's depressing. He said, but I know how it is to want that urge for people to finally be accepting, be like, wow, this is amazing. You all took the opportunity and the money to make this. So we appreciate that. But you're saying nobody applaud us. So again, I use the evolution of a young black male, or yeah, the evolution of the maturity. It almost reminds me of the song, the I think it's called the maturity or the maturation of Little Ron, which is Ron Gilmore, which is J. Cole pianist. If you haven't heard that album, go listen to that. And I talk about maturity. And J. Cole had the song No Role Models. And in the song, I'm a huge J. Cole fan. No disrespect whatsoever. I'm just using this as an example of the elevation of a great artist like that is J. Cole. And he had a song like, don't save her, she don't want to be saved. And he was talking about those models, he was talking whatever. People took offense to that. For whatever reason, Cole makes great music, but people took offense to that because they love going after the negative. But whether people took offense to it or whether it caused controversy or not, it sold hundreds of thousands of millions of copies, right? Because and everybody was bumping that, and that was on the radio. But when he makes the song "Don't Say I'm Falling in Love" for the first time, find love, be a father, be a real man, real fathers, real men. Nobody supported that. A young brother would look at that, not saying Cole, not saying anybody, not even saying, I guess you just look at a brother, or just any young man would look at that and be like, you know what? People accept, or the money or all the attention, all the fame and all the glory is me being the bad guy or being this guy instead of the good guy. Let me go be that guy instead. This is where the money at. This is where the life at. The wire, or you that lifestyle of, let me get this money quick, get rich or die trying. Let me do this, having no idea or no conception of life experience. Let me go do this because this is where it's at. Because this is what the media and the masses say that this is what's cool. Not that follow, not that, because nobody even support that. You see what I'm saying? You see how that mindset works? How not only do the media not applaud us and use it as propaganda, the masses don't. We're so brainwashed to follow the negative, or to automatically accept or only listen to the negative and block out the positive, that when brothers are trying to do good things, it doesn't get applauded and it doesn't get recognized. And a lot of times you have those behavior folks, not them, but you have other people looking from the outside in and be like, you know what, I'm not gonna go down because that don't give me the same fruit. When actually that's a lie. That's what they want you to believe. But I digress. Let's go to 3. TV makes the young black male the butt of every joke. Starting in sitcoms, particularly in the early 2000s, I believe it ushered in kind of those. They had. I remember. I believe it was Dr. Dick Gregory, Mr. Dick Gregory, the OG, who said, or one of them, I can't remember who it was, or it may have been Dr. Boyce Walker, but somebody said they gave all the kings of comedy shows because the king of comedy was spitting the real and actually waking people up and making people conscious during their comedy skits. And they gave all of them shows. But just like this, and a lot of times good times and all these kind of stuff, they began to use that same tactic again to make the young black male the butt of every joke and to try to make him look weak and ignorant and dumb. So you had the sitcoms in the early 2000s reiterating a lot of the negative stereotypes. You had shows, which I'm not going to name names because this is going to be a whole entire video that I do on this particular topic. But you had shows showing the young black male as dumb, just couldn't get right, just in everything. He was the one that they laughed at. He was so dumb. He didn't understand 2 plus 2, or he robbed and stole, and they thought that he didn't rob, but found out that he did steal. It's just so many shows that show that negative stereotype. That's why Mr. James Evans from Good Times, Mr. John Amons, I believe his name is, left Good Times because he was saying all of our characters needed to develop. JJ, don't need to do all that dynamite and be the butt of everybody joke. It's time to move from those circumstances. It's time to show us in a positive light. But you have so many shows and sitcoms show young black men in a bad light, or the butt of everybody's joke, or like just the fool, or the buffoon, or the clown, that you see this, or the thug or the gangster. They categorize us as what we gotta be. You understand what I'm saying? They don't show the intellectual. They don't show the college student. They don't show this and that. They don't show those narratives, because although these narratives are true, they like to show the false narratives and try to do this because, again, it's all to destroy young black men. Four, they make young black males a sidekick. You understand where I'm coming from, but I digress again, because again, you know what kind of situation that is. But I'm definitely gonna leave that in the link down below as well. And of course, again, it's the media. I mean, the situation is the media propaganda, once again, a massive propaganda. And again, positive narratives are needed. So I'm gonna try to keep this video under 20 minutes. I don't know what we're looking like right now. Again, positive narratives are needed. There are so few out there, or the few that are out there, I try to be too narrow. Or if you say the word, like I tell you, I don't try to even use the word conscious no more. They're like, as soon as you use the word conscious, you gotta be like affiliated with a certain group or a certain narrative. I mean, just being aware, in your mind, mentally, being aware of life and the circumstances and the situations, and seeing the plight of black people, period, and trying to fix, particularly trying to, with this channel, at least what I'm trying to do is show, the young black male narrative, and try to debunk the myths and the false things in which they try to negatively put upon us. So positive narratives are needed, because there are so many negative stereotypes. There's so many negative propaganda, so many negative representation within the media, and so few positive ones. So, like always, I will continue to do what I can do, to be a vessel, to help all young black males. And in addition to that, we will continue to do this channel and many others to come, to push the positive and truthful narrative of the young black male, because the majority of the time they don't show us in a good light, and the majority of us are out here trying to work and trying to do well, and just trying to, at the very least, take care of our family, but more particularly those of us like myself and the many, many others are looking at it from a broader perspective, to trying to promote and spread prosperity amongst our people. So this is the Brown Brother. Please like, share, subscribe. I hope that this video helped in any kind of way. If you have any comments or any questions, leave them inside the comment section down below. I'm going to begin to start editing this video, and hopefully this will come out very soon. So please look forward to my other couple of videos that will be coming out, and I shall see you guys soon. Peace.